My name is Corey Davila, and I'm doing my informative speech. And here are my note cards. And here's my crowd. I have Patricia, Arvin, Travis, Aaron, Neil, and Angel. And Aaron's going to be my cameraman. And the topic I was going to speak about today was going to be football and the injuries associated with it. So, football is a well-known sport here in the USA. It's loved by everybody here in the USA. It's the most popular sport. Basketball is the only sport that even comes close to football. Now, along with football, there's a lot of injuries associated with it. Neurological injuries, concussions. It's really it's a common thing when you play football. So what I want to talk about is how we can overcome those things, how we can get better about them, and what are researchers doing to help us about the game of football. And with football being a very popular sport out here in West Texas, the state of Texas, it's like a religion out here. People take it real seriously. If you have loved ones, they're probably playing football, especially at a young age. And most of us here that are males, we probably played football at one time or have a vast knowledge of football because that's pretty much a heritage out here. So I haven't played the sport my entire life and following it and doing everything I can. I love the sport of football. I can give a little insight on the injuries and what kind of injuries take place and how they can affect your life. Alright, so in the past 30 years, for high school students, every half a person to 100,000 people have a catastrophic neurological injury. And that's not very often that we have that, but it is something that does happen. Now, for college players, it's a little bit higher. It's going to be 1.5 to every 100,000. Remember, those are catastrophic neurological injuries, and those are injuries that are lifetime effective. Now, as far as concussions, which are a lot more common within high school and college football, high school players, every 19% of high school players in the state of Texas get a concussion every year. While college players, it's 34%. And 20% of those kids will get another concussion in that same season. Now, when parents hear this fact, they're going to be thinking, okay, well, my children, if they have a 20% chance of getting a concussion, why am I going to let them play football? And most NFL players as well, they'll let you know that they don't want their kids to play football. They're trying to make the best living right now so their kid doesn't have to go through something so traumatic, sport of football. Now I have a couple pictures showing some of the hits that you can take in football. Like right here, it was right to the head. Pretty vicious hit. Football is a pretty brutal sport, as y'all can see. Taking a blow to the head. And this is a scanned picture, x-ray picture of a skull and the brain, showing the brain with the concussion. That's after the hit. And what it is, the brain swells up and knocks against, when a concussion occurs, the brain knocks against the base of the skull and it causes the brain to bleed a little bit. And it could be a serious long-term effect, especially on young kids, college kids, because they haven't fully developed yet. And that could be long-term effect. And it's something that parents really need to take in consideration when going through these kind of traumatic events. So now, what are researchers doing to help us out to ensure that high school students, college students, even the NFL players are more safe when they play the game of football? Researchers have developed equipment they've developed sensors which monitor impact and directional impact on helmets and anything that players have impact on when they're getting hit or any type of physical combat, and it's really helping with this study. So that's one way they're helping, and another way is they're trying to develop new football equipment so we can just be more safe and there's not as many concussions and things of that sort. And also another thing that needs to be aware is coaches. They need to know when their players are injured, need to know when they need to take them out of the game or if they're able to go, and coaches need to be a lot more cautious of that. They've had a couple fatalities actually the last couple of years, and that's been a serious issue that they've been dealing with. So the game of football is a well-beloved sport. Everybody in the state of Texas I know loves it. The USA loves it. The world loves it. It's a great sport to play, but it also has danger and risk involved in it. And we just got to be careful allowing our children to play the sport, making sure they're okay, and just knowing the risk associated with the game of football. And I thank y'all for y'all's time. And let me show my crowd again. So I have Patricia, Arvin, Travis, Aaron, Neil, and Angel. And thank y'all for coming to my speech and listening to me today.